Hey guys, it's Jenny, and I'm here to talk to y'all about how to make skin tone using only 3 colors. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh, cool, a primary color, video, and I'm gonna get all like knowledged up about color theory and color mixing and all that stuff. But no, that's not what we're doing today. We are gonna learn how to get a whole range of skin tones using 3 colors and not having to do a whole bunch of mixing and not having to be super knowledgeable about color theory. Okay, so the truth is skin tone is really complex. In my work, the flesh tone is almost a secondary subject matter. It's something that I put a lot of time into because it's what makes people look beautiful. There's a lot of colors in skin, and there's a lot of nuance, and everyone has a really, different kind of skin tone, and all of them are beautiful, and I really like to capture that in my work. But sometimes I am not doing a completed painting. So sometimes I'm just in my sketchbook. I just want to see how, I want to work on my composition. I want to work on color schemes, or I'm just spitballing ideas in there. So when I'm doing that, I'm not really wanting to do a bunch of nuancy stuff. What I'm wanting to do is just get like a peachy color down and then see like how the colors all balance together so I can plan out my more elaborate artwork. You might be a beginner and just getting all into the weeds with skin tone is just like, it's over your head, and really, you're just trying to get down the mechanics of watercolor, but you want to paint a person because it's fun. Okay, so this would be for you. Maybe you're like an urban sketcher, or maybe you're not even that into portraiture, but you just want the option of having some flesh tones and stuff. Again, you don't want to like get all into color theory and stuff. So this might be why you want to do this. So I just want to say that because I don't want it to be like, oh, why'd you make a shitty skin tone tutorial? That's not what I'm doing, and I'll make an awesome one for you guys. But I wanted to start with the simplest because I realize not everybody needs crazy skin tones, So this is for you guys. The minimalist, the people with travel palettes who just want to bring the bare minimum of color. It's for you guys. So enjoy. Starting off, we have Venetian Red. This is an opaque pigment. It is also staining. So I chose it just because it waters out really nicely to a nice pale pinky color you would associate with Caucasian skin. And it's also kind of different. So the next one is Van Dyke Brown. It's a more common color. And I chose it because it's just warm enough. So spoiler alert, you can cool it off with some blue, but then you can also warm it up with our Venetian Red. So it's kind of versatile in that way. But it also is beautiful on its own. So it could be brown hair. It could be brown in skin. And then you can add that blue in there, like you're seeing right here, and I'll make black. And so, yeah, this is our ultramarine blue, completing our triad. And, yeah, you can make the blacks with it for just your darkest values, or for hair, or for detailing on the eyes. But then it also makes really interesting purples with that Venetian Red. So kind of between all 3 of these, you have a nice combo where you can get a big variety of skin tones. So you can see the Van Dyke Brown on its own kind of has a yellowy cast to it. The Venetian Red, of course, has like a red cast to it. And so you can see here we have a ton of different neutrals we can get, along with some kind of weird dark colors too. And the granulation in the ultramarine blue is really interesting with some of the other colors. And then the opacity of the Venetian Red does really interesting things as well. So I kind of wanted to include some colors that maybe people wouldn't normally think of, less commonly used watercolors, just because I find that more interesting. So maybe you're looking to expand your palette, or you've wondered about a couple of these colors, specifically the Venetian Red. I really do feel like Van Dyke Brown and ultramarine blue are pretty commonplace. But yeah, check out that granulation right there. It's super cool. All right, so now is the sketch. So I sketched 3 really cool ladies, and I picked them all 3 with different skin tones just to demonstrate that you can get a variety in skin tones. So the top one is Issa Rae, and yeah, so you'll see, so this is kind of my watercolor thing. I jump around a lot, especially if I'm doing small stuff. So I don't have the patience to put a layer down and just wait for it to dry and put the next one. So I'm going to hop on over, and I am going to work on, oh God, I'm blanking on her last name. Her first name is Tessa, and she was in that Thor Ragnarok movie. And then I just saw Annihilation, which was an awesome movie, and she was one of the scientists in that one. You should see that movie. It's like crazy good. And then the last one down there is Courtney Barnett, who is my favorite singer right now. So yeah, so you'll see me kind of popping over between each of these, just kind of adding layers. And as one dries, I'll go over and work on the other. And so, like I mentioned earlier, this would be something where, you know, if I just wanted to practice doing some like quick sketches, like whether it just be for fun, you know, I just want to, you know, paint some cool ladies that I like, or if I was, what if I wanted to do some sort of like composition, this would be a cool way to do that. So, yeah, you can see me in here. I'm using my, what's it called? Silver black velvet brush. And I think I was using a size 6 when I worked on this. And those brushes are great because they come to a nice point, which is great for getting the little details. And I first drew this out with a, what is it? Sorry, I'm like looking for my words tonight. I think it was a Prismacolor .005. I kind of like the look of that super ultra fine line with watercolor on it. And so it's a waterproof pen, and then I put the colors on top. It looks kind of sharp in a sketchbook, so I do that a lot. So you'll see the bottom, Courtney Barnett has some bluer tones in her skin, and she's got a lot more fairer skin, so we're utilizing the white of the paper. We're actually using the white of the paper in all 3 of these. You'll see on this top one that I'm working on now, or was working on, that the far side of the skin, the light source is hitting that, and so it's causing a glare across the flesh that's using the white of the paper. So I'm not using white paint because, I mean, most of y'all know that's kind of like a no-no in watercolors. And it's also going to give us, even though we're using really simple colors, we're still getting some nice luminosity, even though it's just a sketch. If we're going to add a white pigment to this to lighten the flesh tone, it's going to look chalky really fast, and it's going to look gouache-like. Which there is nothing wrong with gouache stuff, but I think that the interesting parts of, the opacity of the Venetian red and the granulation and all of that really neat stuff, it just kind of gets lost. So I realized as I was trying to think about this, like, what's the simplest way to get skin tone? And I was approaching it kind of like makeup or something, where it's like, okay, this is the I guess local color of the like skin or whatever, we've got maybe a dark, a medium, and a light or something like that, like 3 or 4 different like kind of variations of skin tone, and it's like, all right, how do we paint that? But as I was like really looking into this, even keeping it as simple as I can, it just is like, it's just light is what dictates the colors that you're gonna use, not so much skin tone. Like, I mean, it definitely affects, the colors that you'll be choosing, but you can have someone who's really dark complected and high key lighting, and you're gonna end up using lighter colors in that portrait than you will someone who has lighter skin that is in indirect lighting, or I don't know, just kind of different lighting. And really nice lighting you're gonna be using, or maybe not nice, really like dynamic lighting will have you using really, really dark colors and really, really light colors in the same portrait. So it's always really nice when you can get that sort of thing. So you can see I'm adding some finishing touches. Also take note, especially at the end, there's like a close-up shot of the way that blue granulates in the hair of the middle figure.
And yeah, I can tinker around with these like little portraits for forever, but at a certain point it's like, okay, it's just a sketch. Let's move on. So here they are. Yeah, check out that granulation. It's so cool.
Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you just want to sit there and judge my sketchbook. That's okay. I don't blame you. But if you want to learn more about skin tone, you really want to get into it. I really want to show you how to get into it. I love talking about all this stuff, and I'd love to show you how I do it as well. But I also wanted to throw out something that was really simple, because sometimes I think I get way too complicated on this stuff, and um, I've really been trying to balance for myself, you know, kind of this place between like just too many colors and like getting too like I don't know, sometimes I just want to be creative and throw some ideas down. And so that's how I do it. So yeah, I hope you found it interesting. And yeah, like I've been saying, subscribe. I will do more complex skin tones with more color theory and all of that good stuff. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you later. Bye.